Right, hello lads and lasses, welcome back to Boys Down Under, where today Celtic re-entered the winning circle. I was very worried going into this game that Celtic were going to make it 3 from 3 games without a win, but the boys pulled through, and that's all that mattered. We got 3 points, we stay top of the table by 3 points as well. But before we go any further though, please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to help support the channel grow, and I'll be forever appreciative of you guys if you did that. But without further ado, let's get into it now. I woke up this morning at the crack of dawn, 5:45 a.m, just in time to see the lineups come out. And I'll tell you what, I was happy with the lineup. I can't lie. Disappointing to see Jack and Marcus not available. I thought that would come back. That would be very detrimental. But generally, I was very happy with the lineup, you know. It's our strongest lineup that we could have played, and I had no complaints about it. So we went from there. We waited an hour until kickoff, and then I missed the first 20 minutes of the match. I have gone back and watched it now, but when watching it live, I did miss the first 20 minutes. So I did miss Abada's sitter. I did miss the defensive clearance that hit the bar, but I did think when I'm watching it back, when I got into the match, which was around the 20th minute mark, I thought, shit, we're going to draw nil all, aren't we? St Mirren, 11 men behind the ball. Our centre-backs were in the positions attacking midfielders should be, and I thought it was going to be a very tough game for Celtic. I didn't see a way we were going to break through St Mirren. They had bodies on the line. It was going to be a Livingston-esque game. So we went through the motions in the first half. Jota had a nice ball that was cleared, but nothing was happening. Like I said, they were putting bodies on the line. Every time we tried to get the ball into the box on the ground, it was cleared. Every time we tried to get it into the ball in the air, there was no one tall enough in the box to get to it. Maida, he won loads of headers, but the headers were just not good enough to go into the back of the net or even to trouble the goalkeeper. So we went into halftime and really nothing had happened. It was a lackluster first half. You know, we knew St Mirren were going to stay behind the ball, but really, we probably should have been 1 goal ahead through Liel Abada. However, that wasn't meant to be, so we need to be scoring other opportunities. Then the boys, they come out into the second half. No changes made by Ange, and it was there was a change. You know, I wouldn't say it was a dramatic change. It wasn't a drastic change, but Celtic, they came out with intensity that you expected them to come out with when we played Hibs in the second half, you know. We didn't come out with it then, we had to come out with it now, because that was the only way we were going to win this match and break down St Mirren's resilient defence, let's say. And, you know, beating it around, a couple of good opportunities here and there. We get a foul on the edge of the box. Personally, a red card tackle for me. Can't remember who it was, but the St Mirren defender, he led with his studs, and he led with his studs up in the tackle of Liel Abada. That to me is a red card. He might not have made contact with Liel Abada with his studs, but he still led with them. Obviously, it doesn't really matter. We got a foul out of it. And due justice was served. The ball comes in from Jota, probably goes off the arm of the St Mirren defender, but it rebounds to the most unlikely player you'll ever think to score a volley. And okay, we'll say second most unlikely player you expect to score a volley after Joe Hart. It is Cameron Carter-Vickers. It fell down to him. He hit it absolutely sweetly from 2-3 meters out. He absolutely rocketed it into the back post. And that has to be one of the very rare few occasions I've ever seen Cameron Carter-Vickers smile. Great moment for me. I was on the bus. I was actually getting on the bus. We're heading to an excursion at school. I was hopping on the bus, see it goes in, screaming on the sidelines. I was side of the street, very happy. And yeah, just another reason as to why Cameron Carter-Vickers needs to be signed permanently past this season. Because Tottenham don't need him. That's clear as day. Celtic need him. Are we going to have to pay quite a bit? Yes. But is it going to be worth it? 100 times, yes. Regardless though, the game pushed on because the game didn't end there. You know, but that goal, it completely unlocked St Mirren. You know, they lost all belief, they lost all commitment. If that goal doesn't go in, it ends 0-0, but it does, and that's all that matters. St Mirren got unlocked. James Forrest got introduced. He brought a whole different part of energy into the game. You know, I thought, you know, there was some great opportunities. Juranovic had a terrible cross that literally, if it was the perfect cross, it would have found an open Dyson Maida or Jota at the back post. But we kept on pushing because St Mirren were opening up. Juranovic was having an incredible match, apart from that probably shitty cross he had. And, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. The cross goes in, and It bobbles around, but it falls. And then there he is, the Phantom of Celtic Park. Callum freaking McGregor, the captain. Captain's shift, captain's effort. He goes and he absolutely strikes that ball like a plum. Goes through two defenders' legs. Well, not through them, but evades the legs of two defenders who are blocking every single possible angle to the goal. He gets it past them, goes into the back of net. The stadium erupts. Callum McGregor loving it. The fans are loving it. The players are loving it. Celtic are 2-0 up, and we're about to see themselves out to a very comfortable... I wouldn't say a very comfortable, but we're about to comfortably see themselves out to this win. One we had to definitely work hard for. No doubt about that. We had to work hard for this win. But the main thing is we got the win. Also, quick mention, Karamoko Dembele, extremely happy to see him get back on the pitch, and it wouldn't be a return if he didn't get a yellow card in the process. Funny. I was hoping he would get a goal. You know, it's young Karamoko. It's good. We need to get some minutes into him, and hopefully he can play a very crucial part in the rest of the season for us. It's always great to have someone like him who is like Jota again. He is just the absolute X factor. You know, no one he's unstoppable. Karamoko is. When he's on form, he is unstoppable, and we all know that. But back to the game, and look, my thoughts on it. You know what? We moved. The first half, very poor. The first half was reminiscent of the kind of Celtic we've been seeing in the past few weeks. But the second half was reminiscent of the Celtic we were seeing at the end of the winter break. So take it that as you will, a game of two halves, certainly, and a game which two halves decided the match. And Celtic were obviously the better in the majority of those halves. I wouldn't say, fair play to St Mirren, resilient for as long as they could, but I still am very much against that style of football, and I'm very much against the style of football that allows the opposition centre-backs to be the playmakers of the team. And you know what? They paid the price for it. They let our centre-back win the match for us. So that's great to see. Sorry, Grandpa, but we're going to take this one. Anyways, what this does for Celtic. Look, what can we take away from this match? I think we need Giakoumakis. You know, obviously unavailable because of illness. Not blaming him, not blaming anybody. But we need Giakoumakis in this team if Kyogo isn't going to be back for a while. Because the way Celtic have been playing recently is the crossing. You know, obviously, the balls on the ground don't work because they get intercepted, but the balls in the air, they are so dangerous. But Dyson Maeda, nothing against him. He can't help it. He's not tall enough to get onto the end of those balls, you know. The balls have a height on them in which they're high enough that they beat the first man and any second man, but they're high enough so that someone can leap onto them in the box, and Dyson just isn't tall enough. I think he's got great speed, great pace. He's certainly a catalyst sort of player, but we need Giakoumakis back if we're going to play that style of football, and it's clearly the style of football that works for Celtic right now is playing these crosses into the box through Juranovic, through Greg Taylor, through Jota, and through Abada, and even Matt O'Reilly for that matter. You know, we need to get Giakoumakis back in this team. If not, as soon as possible. You know, he may not be ready again on the weekend. Hopefully he is. I think Ange, everyone hopes he is. I hope he is. If he isn't, we can make do with Dyson Maeda. I'm not saying Dyson Maeda is terrible, but we need to adjust our playing style. I said it after the Hibs game. We need to adjust. We need to go through the middle of the park more if we're going to try and unlock Dyson, whose best asset is through balls, pace, movement, speed, acceleration. You know, he's got a great finish on him. Get him in front of goal, he won't miss. As long as it's with his feet, his heading ability, questionable. Although he did score a banger against Bodo Glimt with his head, but we're going to forget about that tie completely. Regardless, yeah. Need Giakoumakis back, or we have to alter our play style. So that's that. Second of all, 9 league games to go. That's all we've got. 9 league games. It's gone so quick this season. This season has gone so quick in comparison to last year. Last season felt like it never was going to end, and we were going to be stuck in that hellhole forever. But this year, much better. So much better. And it's a shame that it's gone so quick, because the year that has been Ange Postecoglou and the return of Celtic, the rebuild of Celtic, 9 games to go. And with Rangers winning this morning, the gap remains 3, like I said. So, and you know what? These games are going to be... This title is going to be decided in the final 2 derbies, without a doubt. The gap is only 3 points. Rangers win the next one, they go equal. Celtic win the next one, we go 6 ahead. This is where this title is going to be decided. As long as Celtic continue winning against other teams in the league, it's a complete... with 7 games to go against opposition that isn't Rangers... You could say there's probably a decent chance we will drop points again, and there's also the same goes for Rangers, but we need to be making sure that we avoid that old cost, and that comes back to my point about Dijsselmeyer and Giacomakis. We opened St Mirren today up with a goal. It was a goal from a rebound and at a free kick, one we deserved, but still one that we're not always going to get. And if we're not always going to get it, and we're not going to have those options in the box from crosses, we're going to need to adapt. And I think that's something Ange will continue to work on in training, especially considering that, illness, it can really impact a player's ability and endurance. And Giacomakis really might not even be able to be fit enough for the weekend, but hopefully, fingers crossed, he will be. Look, final point today, Cameron Carter-Vickers. Well, need I say anything more? We need him on a permanent deal. There is no questions about that. I will happily fork out as much money as I can to sign him permanently. Do I think it will be overly expensive? No. Do I think it will maybe reach, the £8 million, £9 million mark? Yes, I do. Because I feel Tottenham know there will be interest from other clubs, and they know if Celtic want him, they can drive the asking price up. It's simple economics, supply and demand. There's merely only one supply of Cameron Carter-Vickers, but there is a lot of demand for him, so that price is going to go up. If we win win the league, that's a nice little pot of money that we can instantly invest into Cameron Carter-Vickers with a lot left over, with the majority of it left over. But if we don't, we're going to need to find. I don't think finances are an issue, but if we don't win the league, a lot of our summer spending is going to go into Cameron Carter-Vickers, when I think the most we spent on a player in our whole season so far this year was 4.5 million for Kyogo, I believe, and it could be 6 million if we do end up signing Jota on the permanent. But at the end of the day, a win is a win. 3 points is 3 points. I by no means am content with that. I'm very happy with that. We needed to win today. It was crucial we won today. We got what we needed. We move on to the next game, and we keep on pushing. We don't stop. We stop at half time. We stop at the end of the match. But until then, we don't stop at all. That's not how the quote goes, but it's majority right. Forgive me. But that is all from me. So remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, hail, hail.